So let's get reaction here from Gina and from Nomiki. Gina, people are talking about Paul Ryan. That is the name of the day. Why might he not want to get involved? Why might he not want the speaker position right now?
Well, he's going to fall under a lot of fire, especially with conservatives, for some of the things that he's done. But also, he has a wife and very small children, 3 little children, and the speaker's job is a huge job. And to do it right, he needs to spend a lot of weekends away from home. And he might decide that's not the best thing, but I don't understand why they can't just get excited about Daniel Webster. I'm very excited about him.
You are. We're going to get to that in a moment. I want to stick with Paul Ryan for a moment. Here's what Steve Moore, the economist from Heritage Foundation, told us yesterday about his specific insight into Ryan. Watch this.
Paul Ryan, who would be a natural person, I just had dinner with him on Monday night and said again at that dinner and said again today, I don't want the job. I'm not so sure
so he doesn't
why
want
he doesn't.
It. Why do you think that is? I mean, it's a tough job to have, let's face it, given the circumstances.
Well, he wants to be the guy who reforms entitlements, and he wants to be the guy who reforms the tax system, and he thinks he can do that from the Ways and Means Committee.
Does he have more influence on the Ways and Means Committee than he would have as Speaker at this point?
I mean, I think it's a very smart decision for him to stay on the House and Ways and Means Committee. For Republicans, I think that he can do more, as he just said, in that position. You know, there are other names being floated out. You know, Mike Conaway, who is also very involved with finance. He's a tax auditor, a former tax auditor, an accountant. He was on the Ethics Committee. That's somebody who is out of Texas, who some people are saying could kind of take the Paul Ryan role, but also from a leadership position and also appeal to a more conservative base.
Well, you know, this is a challenge, right? I mean, you've seen this splintering effectively in the Republican Party with sort of the Freedom Caucus out there and then everybody else. And Gina, you mentioned that you'd like to see Webster get the speakership. Is the idea behind that he could probably try and rein in or bring in some of the people that might be considered on the fringe right now and unite the party, which is what it so desperately needs?
Yeah, he's not part of that Freedom Caucus, as you know, Trish, but they have backed him. I think that says a lot. I'm talking to people like Louis Gohmert, who are very excited about this candidacy. And I think what Republicans need right now is to send a message to their conservative base. Hey, you pulled it out there for us in 2014, and we know that we've let you down. But this is what we're going to do. We are going to unite around someone that we can all unite around. And I have a little bit of a personal thing here with him. He helped me adopt my son who has Down syndrome. And that to me, also his work with Terry Schiavo, just says a lot to me about who he is personally, not who he is politically, and I think that really counts.
Nomiki, we got the debt ceiling looming over our heads. How does that play into all of this right now as we see this political scramble unfolding on Capitol Hill?
Well, I think that's the most important point we have to make here. We have to find a leader, the Republicans have to find a leader that can effectively work with the other side. You know, yes, they want to appeal to the base, and yes, the base is pushing for a more conservative candidate in an election year and a primary year, but bottom line is we have these debt ceilings, we have the budgets that need to get passed, and every 4 months we have this debate with the other side.
A lot of politics going on.
Yeah, nobody wants to see the government held up.
Nomiki, thank you so much. Gina, thank you. Stick with me. We've got more news to get to with Bernie Sanders nipping at her heels. Hillary Clinton